Welcome to the Messy Studio. In this episode, we're not gonna build anything. Hi, Rudder. Oh, it's one of those days. Had to go to Woodcraft this morning. If you remember the Cocobolo pen I made by request here a while back, the guy called me and said, I want a letter opener in Cocobolo to go with that pen. Well, I don't have any letter opener kits. I've got just about everything else. I don't have any letter opener kits. I've never turned one. I mean, it's just like turning a pen, except it's a single barrel. So I had to go to Woodcraft, got a letter opener, gonna turn it. While I was there, they had some wood on sale. This is Hatoba, also known as Brazilian cherry. What I liked about this piece was the grain structure, the grain pattern in it, all of the variation. And so what I'm going to use this for, and let me see if I can show you all the way down. It's just really a pretty piece of wood. Just a really pretty piece of Hatoba. I've never seen Hatoba with this kind of grain variation in it, with the blacks and the grays. So I'll be using this for segmented pieces. I think this will be just right for segmented pieces. So looking forward to that. We'll have an upcoming project. I'll do a segmented bowl out of this and something else. We'll figure it out. The only time I buy wood from Woodcraft is when it's on sale. And it was on sale today. This is normally $36.99. I got it for $20. I think it's a pretty good buy. So support your local Woodcraft. They've got some pretty good sales once in a while, and you can get some good stuff there. I'm gonna do this one a little bit different. I've not done a letter opener before, but it's a cigar kit from Woodcraft. Now, I've not done these, but it's a simple one tube design. But I'm gonna embellish it a little bit with something you typically don't see used in pens. Stay with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, this is a one tube operation. So what I need to do, I'm going to leave myself a little bit of clay on either end. I like this end, looking at the grain, I like this end better, so that's where I'm going to put that's where I'm going to cut the blank. Okay, I've got my mark, go to the bandsaw, cut it off. Got this sled that I made years ago, back when I was doing an awful lot of pens. Line it up with my cut. One-inch blade, cut the length. I'll set this aside for something else. I want to cut an angle on this, so I made a mark that's half right in the center, and I want this angle to bisect this mark right in the middle of the blank. So to make that happen, I have to adjust where this goes. That should work. Now I'm going to clamp this. I'm going to clamp this down because I'm going to need to make this cut again in a little while. Now I need to measure this long side It's 1 inch by about 3/4. So now I'm going to take this material. This is pick guard. You can get it from a number of places. I think I got this from Grizzly. It's the stuff that goes, that they put on guitars to protect the wood from the guitar pick. You can get it in different colors, different styles. And I'm going to use it as an inlay because the guy I'm making this for is a guitar player. And I forgot to hit record. I laid this out, marked it up, 1 inch, about 3/4 of an inch. I cut it out. I thought I hit record, sorry. So now let's go do what we got to do. Now, that's actually pretty close. Now the first thing I need to do, I don't know if you can see these wavy lines left from the bandsaw because I've got a wet blank blade, not a fine blade. So I'm going to take these over to my oscillating spindle sander and I'm going to smooth these up a little bit. I'm not going to take off much material at all because I can't afford to. This needs to be the width of the kerf, and right now it's pretty close. Didn't take but a second. So now I'm going to sand this up so that it'll stick. It's got some protective coating on it, this plastic. Rough that up a little bit, got some bite on it. Give it a little tooth. I have here a little jig. Turn it around so you can see it with a block on one end. So what I'm going to do, and to accommodate for the round part of that angle iron, because it's not an acute 90 degrees, I rounded this edge off a little bit. You can see the profile where I rounded that corner off. So I'm going to put these in here, and if I can get it the right way, and I'm going to put this in there. So put me some epoxy on that. Now I've got blue tape in there so it doesn't stick. I can always clean that up later. Radius on that as well. And now put it in my clamp. So how do you keep it from moving around and getting all squirrely? Well, that's pretty easy. Clamp this side in. That's down. Pressure on that, just enough to keep it in place. Get out any voids. So I'll let this, it's 5-minute epoxy, I'll let it cure for a half hour or so. Let it cure for a half hour or so, and then I'll come back, cut it again, this piece in. We'll be back. Okay, now I can make my second cut. And if my measurements and everything are correct, this will come out right. So now I need to sand these smooth again before I glue the other piece in. And if, like I said, if my measurements are right, see, if I were to try to glue it back together right now, that's off. So if I took enough out, it'll be perfect. So hit these on the sander again real quick and I'll be back. My alignment is off that much, but that should be just about right. When I glue this in, it should be just about perfect. So let's glue it up. Don't know what to do with all those business cards you're never going to use? Use them to mix epoxy. Don't put so much pressure on it that you squeeze it out and get it out of place or get it out of alignment. That alignment doesn't look too bad. Now, if I'm centered right, this will look the same once it's turned all the way around. If I'm off, which it looks like I might be, well, we'll see. I'm going to let this cure up overnight just to make sure it gets good and hard. And we'll come back tomorrow and finish it up. If you can see right here, the center of that cross, it lines up good, but the center of that cross isn't in the center this way, which makes this side a little bit longer than this side. That being the case, if I were to put it in my chuck and drill it now and then turn it, I wouldn't have an even Celtic knot. It would be kind of cattywampus. So what I can do is I can trim a little bit of this edge off till that's in the center, and that'll be good. So let me get this sanded up, sand this rough stuff off, and I'll see how much I got to trim. Okay, measuring between this point and this point, I'm exactly a ½ inch. Measuring between this point and this point, I'm just over 9/16, almost 5/8. So I do need to trim a little bit off of here. So I'm going to do it little by little and sneak up on it. That's close. That's nearly perfect. The center of the cross is dead on 3/8 of an inch. This is like 3/4 wide. So this will work. Now, chuck it up and drill it. Got it chucked up. Got my Jacobs chucked in the wheel of the tailstock. always start your hole. I do all my drilling of pin blanks and whatnot on the lathe. Always start your hole with a center drill. And yes, that's thunder. It's been raining off and on all day here. 78% humidity, 85.3 degrees here in the shop. I'm on the slowest speed I can go. Center of the hole looks good. It says I need a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter. Now I'm not going to drill it all the way through. I'm going to drill it, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to drill some more. Keep clearing the shavings, and you want to be real careful that you don't get this too hot. Heat kills pin blanks. Some species you can get by with getting them a little bit warm. Other species, harder species like Cocobolo and others, you gotta let them get cool or stay cool. And in a segmented blank like this, heat kills epoxy, heats most glue. So I'm going to let that cool off a little bit and we'll get back to it. If I had one complaint about this Nova Comet 2, it would be that I've only got about 1.5 inches of quill throw in my tailstock. This only moves about 1.5 inches. That's my biggest gripe about this lathe. It just doesn't have enough tailstock maneuverability. That's another reason I've got to flip this around and drill it. Other than keeping everything centered. Just to make sure, I like to bring my tool rest up. Line it up with the blank and give it a spin. By contrast, my old 10-inch Delta tailstock on it has 1 3/4 of travel. Saw a 14-inch coral snake this morning sneaking out the back door of my shop. I've been working on my lawnmower. I mowed this morning until it rained. I was adjusting the deck height. came into the shop for something and headed to the back door, and it went slithering up the back stairs and in the bottom of my outside wall before I could kill it. I say 14 inches, it could have been longer than that. It was, figure around as my little finger or bigger. And the tail was just as blunt as my little finger. I'm not too worried about that snake, but I'm just gonna have to be mindful that he's around so I don't go digging for something and accidentally get bit, because those things will kill you. Rattlesnakes, you can hear them coming. They don't worry me. And I'm through. And it looks to be, that ain't good. That's why you always hang on to this. Never trust this connection. Always hang on to your Jacob's chuck. Now, had this only been in about this far, that could have been real dangerous, because this would have whipped around, popped out, and probably hit me. As it was buried all the way up to here, so we got lucky. Always, always, always. And I think that's probably the first time I've turned loose on my Jacob's chuck while drilling in years. But it's those little kinds of lapses that get you hurt. Keep your mind in the game. And not talking about snakes. Well, I got it too hot. Remember what I told you about heat killing epoxy? So, I'm going to mix me up some epoxy, scuff the tube, epoxy this back together, put the tube in, and clamp it with the tube in the middle. That'll fix it. That's where I saw the snake. Wonder if she can smell it. I'm going to stop this here and call it part 1. So I'll come back with part 2 as soon as the finish cures and I get it put together. So, thanks for watching, and come back and see how this thing turns out.